Just so everyone's aware, Catherine Ann Johnson on our team has begun recording at this point in time to make the official record of the meeting. And I want to say a big thank you to Catherine Ann and to Casey Griffin, who's come on to call the roll from our team. Casey's been down sick for the last week with strep and flu and everything else. Just been a real rough time, and he's joined us, and I just wanted to give a public thank you for that, and also to Catherine for always taking care of us electronically. So.
Quick question, Mr. Raymond, I see that you're on. Are you representing the garrison commander? To be determined. We're still shy of a quorum, so we'll just wait a couple more minutes and see who else pops in here. Karen and LaQuavia, it says Mr. Raymond is leaving the meeting, but he was logged on. I was just curious if he's if he will be representing Colonel Midbury or not. But
he sent an email. He said he'd been sitting in the lobby.
okay.
So I don't know if he's still there.
Okay.
I currently don't see anyone in our lobby.
Catherine Ann, if you scroll down on the list, it's a purple MR and it says Mr. Peter Raymond leaving ... But we need him to come back. We need him to come back in.
I emailed him back.
Okay. All right.
And if we, if we get a quorum and folks do need to leave, if we needed to take items out of order to do the official business that requires votes, we can do that. Take them out of order if it looks like we'll only have a quorum for a short period.
It's looking to me like we do have quorum now. So we'll go ahead and get started. I'm Deanna McLaughlin. I'm the Tennessee Commissioner to the Military Interstate Children's Compact. Our organization is supported greatly by the Tennessee State Board of Education, Nathan James, Casey Griffin, and Catherine Ann Stevens. They support our compact as a law, and also Deb Muniz and I as we do the work across the state of Tennessee. Thank you all for joining us today. We'll go ahead and get started so that we can move along. The agenda was emailed to you all, and it's also available on our website in case you don't have it in front of you. Before we decide if we're going to move the order, we'll go ahead and check and see if we have quorum. Casey, via his sick bed, will be calling the roll.
Major General Tommy Baker.
Present.
Senator Richard Briggs. Dr. Combs, Dr. John Combs. Mike Craig. Michaela Gregory.
Michaela Gregory is no longer with the Child and Youth Program, but I'm Jennifer Allen for the military Child and Youth.
Jennifer Allen.
Allen. Yes, sir.
Okay, very
Thank
good.
you.
You're welcome.
Mr. James Bo Griffin. Let's see.
Here. Yes, sir. Here.
Christy
Sorry.
Carroll Highfield.
I'm here.
Dr. Ted Horrell.
I am here.
Mr. Nathan James.
Present, sir.
Jean Luna Vetter.
Dr. Vetter's on her way, and I'm here from Clarksville, Montgomery County, Kimmy Saharsky.
Okay, very well. I didn't get your last name, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Saharsky, Sucharski. I'm the Director of Accountability for the Clarksville, Montgomery County Schools, and she was in a training and is on the interstate and called and said she's on her way.
Okay, very well. Thank you. Jeff Mayo. Deanna McLaughlin.
I'm here.
Colonel Midbury. Captain Mossberger.
I'm present.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Deb Muniz.
I'm here.
Mark Reeves.
He let me know he'd be absent. His son's in the state wrestling tournament today.
Thank you. Carissa Poe. Joey Vapp.
I'm here.
Laquiva Garrett. Jennifer Lundy.
Present.
Karen Watkins.
Present.
Elaine Lajeunesse.
Present.
I'm sorry for butchering that name, your last name.
That's okay, sir.
Dr. Catherine Stevens.
I'm here.
Brigadier General Scott Brower. Kim Cody.
I'm here.
Chris Lancia. Mark Riles.
I'm here.
Oh. Mark Riles. Captain Joe Torres. All right. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4.
We do have quorum at 11 voting members.
11.
Yeah. I just wanted to also, Mr. Smith from Arnold Air Force Base is on. And I'm not sure if Mr. Raymond was able to get back in or not. Did we miss anybody else?
He sent another email saying, Mr. Raymond said he's still waiting in lobby.
Oh, he's changed to unverified. So,
And Dr. Vetter has arrived.
great. Thank you.
Hi all. Sorry I'm late.
It's okay. Can't believe you got off the interstate in time.
And just one correction for the record, Catherine Ann Johnson is on our team. So I think you're thinking of Catherine Stevens, you might know, but ours is not a Stevens. It's all
Sorry.
fine.
Yes,
Are-
and mine is actually pronounced Katrine. It looks like Catherine, but it's Katrine.
Okay. Nathan, do you want to do the announcement about okay.
Well, what I'll do is this. I at this point in time, I'll ask unanimous consent that the minutes of the previous, that the recording of the previous minutes. Let me do this again. All right. At this time, Madam Chairman, I ask unanimous consent that the recording of our previous meeting, as well as the recording of this meeting, serve as the minutes therefor.
So moved. Is there a second?
It's a unanimous consent request. Just got to say without objection, so ordered.
Okay, so ordered.
Okay. Thank you. That was quick.
And then we also need to have unanimous consent that this recording will serve as our minutes for this year, correct?
Right, yeah, but I said all that together, but I can do it again. Madam Chair, I ask unanimous consent that the recording for this meeting serve as the minutes therefor as well.
So moved. Today's recording will act as the minutes for this meeting. Okay, we have some new members that have joined the council since last year, but our newest member is Dr. Katrine Stevens. She will be updated on the list. She's the director of schools from Tullahoma Schools, and Tullahoma actually has quite a few schools that are up for approval today for Purple Star schools. So welcome, Dr. Stevens. You've been attending this meeting for the last few years, even though you weren't a board member, and we appreciate you coming on our state council. So welcome. Would you like to give a brief introduction about yourself, specifically that you're a military child?
So yes, I am a military child, Army, born overseas, French mom, hence the fun challenge of my name. I'm also a Navy veteran spouse, so military spouse. I'm honored to be a part. I've certainly enjoyed being in Tullahoma these last 4 years and having some Purple Star schools. And so looking forward to today and our time together on the council. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Madam Chairman, if I could
yes.
just offer, I'm just very tickled to see our new addition on the board here. A dedicated educator, a dedicated public servant who always goes the extra mile when it comes to taking care of Tennessee's military children, and I think it's great. Welcome.
Okay, if we could just go down the existing member list, the other 3 members aren't present. So I think y'all know who I am. James Bo Griffin, do you want to give a brief introduction of yourself and where you reside?
Yes, ma'am. I'm Bo Griffin. I am the superintendent of Millington Municipal Schools in Millington, Tennessee. Go Navy.
Nathan, you want to do a brief bio on yourself?
I'm Nathan James with the State Board of Education. Just happy to be here. I guess I've been with the board since 2015, and prior to that, I was Governor Bobby Jindal's policy advisor for education and the workforce in Louisiana. And prior to that, I don't know, basically around Tennessee lawmaking with the Tennessee Senate Education Committee from 08 to 13 or 14, and always around the work of lawmaking, except that I did unsuccessfully try to get out of politics and ran an ice cream shop for a couple of years. So yeah, that was my attempt to be a halfway normal person. So
thanks for all that you do to support us and your staff as well. We appreciate you. All right, Major General Baker.
Yes, Tommy Baker with the Tennessee Department of Veteran Services. Been on this board now for, I guess about 3 years. Good to be here. Good to hear what's going on.
Thank you. Jennifer Allen.
Yes, I'm Jennifer Allen. I am a retired veteran as well, and I am actually the lead for the Military and Family Readiness Program here in Tennessee with the Army National Guard, and I wear quite a few hats, but another hat I wear is I'm the deputy director for our joint family programs here in Tennessee for the Tennessee National Guard over Air and Army, and I help out and work with our child and youth program as well.
Thank you. Many hats.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Christy Heifel.
Hi, I'm Christy Heifel, and I'm actually now the Vice President of Advocacy for Tennessee PTA. We advocate for all children, of course, and I am actually a retired military spouse. My husband retired from the Navy, and we have 3 girls who were all have military children and moved around. My oldest got to go to 5 different elementary schools, so well, really want to support military kids.
Thank you. Dr. Horrell.
Hello, I'm Ted Horrell, Superintendent of Lakeland School System. Honored to be part of this committee. Don't have a military background other than my mom was a longtime civilian employee of the Navy.
Thank you. Dr. Luna Vetter.
Hi, everyone. Jean Luna Vetter, Director of Schools in Clarksville, Montgomery. I've been a military spouse for over 25 years, had 4 children. So we have navigated through Fort Lewis, Fort Bragg, ended up here at Fort Campbell. And then, of course, we've got about 25 to 30% military population here in Montgomery County. So definitely an advocate for military children.
Thank you. Let's see, Captain Mossberger.
Good afternoon, everybody. Mike Mossberger. I've been on the board since June of 21, so my time is coming to a close this June. I invited my relief, Captain Joe Torres, to dial in if he's able to. We'll see if he's able to dial on. I know he doesn't work for us yet. He still has a real job. Happy to be here and happy to be in a forum with some of the people that are shaping my kids in their school districts as they develop and grow. Thank you.
Thank you. Deb Muniz.
Hi, I'm Deb, and I am a retired educator. I was in education for about 37 years, and I kind of take care of things that surround the Tennessee Purple Star. So that's kind of my duties.
You are Tennessee Purple Star. Deb was a gift to us from my colleague in Ohio. When her and her husband decided to retire to Tennessee, Ohio is where Purple Star Schools was founded. And the commissioner, my colleague up there, and said, Deanna, you're getting a gift in Tennessee from Ohio. And thank goodness Deb decided to stick with us, or our Purple Star program would have never launched and gotten to the point that it is now. She's our super Purple Star. Joey Vapp.
Hi, my name is Joey. I am at Arnold Air Force Base with Lee. I'm a military spouse of 29 years, and we've raised 2 children in the states all across America. So education for our military children is very near and dear to my heart.
Thank you all. All right, let's highlight the people that do a lot of the work before it gets to us. Jennifer Lundy.
Hey there, everyone. Jennifer Lundy, school liaison at Naval Sport Activity Mid-South. I've been in this role for we're coming up on 11 years almost, which is kind of crazy. Former military spouse, military children. I've got 4 of them, one in the CDC right now, and just really love helping and supporting our military families. They go through so many hard transitions, and just knowing that they have somebody anywhere they go to help them through that is why I stay in this role. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Karen.
My name is Karen Watkins Juth, and I'm one of the school liaisons here at Fort Campbell. I have been a school liaison right now for a year and 4 months, but I've worked for the Army here at Fort Campbell. I've worked here over about 21 years. I did my student teaching for Clarksville, Montgomery County Schools, and I taught and subbed on Fort Campbell.
Thank you. LaQuivia.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm LaQuivia Garrett, one of the school liaison officer here at Campbell, former military spouse, have 2 military connected youth, and this is a privilege to serve our military families. Thank you for having us today.
And LaQuivia was able to go with, well, we were both there together at the annual meeting for the Military Interstate Children's Compact last year. So she got to learn the inner workings of what an annual business meeting is, and she's still working as a school liaison officer, so that's good news.
Well, I forgot to add that I am the state lead for Tennessee. So yeah, state lead for Tennessee. MIC3.
All right, we do have some guests that have joined us today, and I'll go ahead and call on you. Elaine, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Thank you, Deanna. I'm Elaine LaJeunesse, and I'm Team Eglin and Arnold Air Force Base's School Liaison Program Manager. My husband and I retired at 24 and a half years of Air Force service. We PCS'd 8 times with over 11 deployments, and been a DoD civilian for 18 years and been a school liaison program manager for 7 of those years, and have been appointed by 2 governors to sit on the Florida Military Interstate Compact Council. And I've been working with Commissioner McLaughlin since 2019. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Kim Cody.
Hi, I'm Kim Cody. I'm the AUSA chapter president here at Fort Campbell. I'm an Army veteran, married to an active duty Army soldier. My husband was a military child all the way through until he joined the service. We've got 14 deployments between the 2 of us. We've got 2 military kiddos who are about to move into their 9th state in the last 13 years. My 12-year-old's about to hit his 7th school in 6th grade. So we've got a lot of invested interest here. And he's the cab commander here at the 101st. So we've got lots of different hats, but I'm happy to be here. I've got a lot of really, I'd love to pass on great information to our military families here at Fort Campbell, and just make sure that our kids are being taken care of no matter where they are.
Thank you. Chris Lancia.
Hi, yeah, so retired Army, 26 years. I'm the Chief of Staff for the Tennessee Tri-Stars Council. It's the Governor's Council for service members, veterans, and their families. Work for Commissioner Baker, and 2 military kids of my own who've gone through, what many of us on the call, have watched our children go through. And so just happy to be here and continue to help us drive some additional opportunities to improve the ecosystem for our kids.
Thank you. Mr. Smith?
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Lee Smith, Director of Integrated Prevention and Resilience out at Arnold Air Force Base, retired Air Force, and also the son of a military Air Force guy as well. So I've had my share of going through the DoD schools and schools across America, and glad to be here.
Thank you. Mr. Raymond, are you able to join us here? Okay. All right, well, now we know who everyone is. Every year I like to start our meeting off with a reminder of what our purpose is. And essentially it is to make sure that the compact law is enforced in our state when children come in and out of the state of Tennessee, that they get credit for what they had at their sending school when they come into their receiving school. And also that they have the opportunity to be active participants in their new school, regardless of the fact if they missed the previous school year's sports tryout. Under the compact, they have that opportunity to get a tryout, regardless if they missed it or not. If you have not had a chance to read the comprehensive compact rules, I have the link at the bottom of this presentation where you can review that. It's a quick reference guide. I use it quite often when I'm reaching out to help solve cases. People like to see in writing what the rules are and where they can be accessed. Okay, every year we have, according to our bylaws, have to re-elect the officers. Bo Griffin, you didn't tell me you didn't want to serve another year, so I'm going to say no news is good news. The slate of officers are listed. Myself, Deanna McLaughlin, as the chairman, James Bo Griffin as the vice chairman, and Nathan James as the secretary. We are all willing to serve in this role unless somebody from the floor would like to put their name in the hat, if you will. Are there any nominations from the floor? Okay, I will close nominations. I'll entertain a motion for approval of the slate of state council officers.
This is Ted Hoyle, motion to approve.
Thank you, Ted. Is there a second?
John Combs, second.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposition? Any opposition?
Abstain.
Okay, thank you. I'd also abstain. Okay, thank you. Congratulations, newly elected again officers. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Okay, Deb, our shiniest purple star.
All right. I want to go over kind of like Dan did with the purpose of this committee, really the purpose of the Purple Star. It is really about kind of shining a light on the schools that serve military children extremely well, letting people around, letting families know. And to me, that's the big thing, is letting families know that these schools are out there. I kind of look at it two ways. It helps inform families. It also is a bit of publicity for the schools as well, because one of the things when we were doing some work before the Purple Star became a thing was that families shop. And so we wanted to make sure that families knew that these schools were doing awesome things. And so it has been since we've started Purple Star in Tennessee. Every year I tell you, I'm so excited because of this class. I think I'm so excited about this class that I'm going to introduce you to today. In 2023, we had 2023-24 school year. We had 7 schools. Thank you. 7 renewals and 37 new applicants. So this year, we have a total of 44 schools that I'm going to present to you. Last year, we had 11 renewals, 27 new applicants, and just a couple years ago, the year of COVID was our first year. We know how to pick it well. We had 6 schools total. Our initial class was 6 schools. So there are people that are on this call that I know are promoting, and I know who you are. And when I see you in person, I will say a huge thank you, but I want to do it here in public. I know that there are people that are spreading the word, kind of giving a nudge to schools to participate, so thank you. It leads to things like this, where we have 44 applicants for you to vote on today. I'm ready, Deanna. This is some of the schools that we visited last year, and I want to say thank you to Nathan and Deanna for stepping out with me, kind of enjoying the moment, because it really is like nothing else to go and see the enthusiasm of these schools. So fun. And the number of schools that we've had come on as whole schools, it's kind of awesome to see an entire school hanging their banners. So this is the class for 23-24. You will see that we have several renewals. They show up in the purple. The rest of these are all new schools. I tell you, they turned in applications that were incredible. So I want to talk, before we vote, I do want to talk a little bit. This year we made some changes because I was using an LMS that held a class. The company allowed us to do that for free. They took away all free accounts. So I had to look and use Google Classroom. The problem was some schools use Google Classroom and some of our participants were having a hard time getting in. So we went to using the courses through either MIC3 or MCEC. Some changes and so that was a huge change and kind of evolved as we were in process. This year, I'm going to make some additional changes. These are much smaller. All the materials I'm going to put directly on the Tennessee MIC3 webpage. That way, I won't have a course at all. The participants can just pull the stuff down and they can go to work. The professional development that's required for the point of contacts, they will take it either through MIC3, the National MIC3, or MCEC. I think this is going to help solve some dilemmas for our participants. I'm going to give a bit more detailed description of some of the requirements to add a little bit of clarity. Some of the participants submitted things and it just wasn't quite in the right, frame. So this will help clarify any of that information for them. All right, so this is the thing most of the POCs are waiting for because they know I already have an email all set up, ready to go out as soon as this vote is taken. So you won't be able to see me, but it'll be sent by the time we close. Those schools will know, those point of contacts will know. The other piece is that the schools will get in the mail or in email, a separate email, their news release. And then also, because we have 44 schools, I'm going to try to set up visits. And we have 2 schools. Clarksville has 13. And we have another school that has 11. So some of those schools where we have quite a few schools coming on, I'm going to try to arrange those as one mass meeting. So if you get an email and it says, could we possibly do this, as a team of schools, that's why. So I guess what I'm hoping for is someone that will make a motion. Deanna? You want to take this?
I'll entertain a motion to approve all 44 schools who completed the process and have been vetted by Deb Nunes. Is there a motion?
This is
Ted
Katrine.
Hoare, motion to approve.
Okay. Who was so Katrine said that she would make a motion. Who is the second, please?
Second by Ted Hoare.
Thank you, Mr. Horrell. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Anyone opposed?
I would have had a heart attack, you know that, right?
I know. But this is. Let me just brag on Deb some more because she really deserves it. If a school fills out an application and submits it and there is something missing, she doesn't automatically say, I'm sorry, you're not going to be eligible. She works with that school until they meet all the requirements to be a Purple Star school because she cares that much about the program. And 44 schools that got all the way through is a lot of her time to work with them hand in hand to get them to this point. And she does it for her love of our military family members and their kids. And we would not have this program in Tennessee without her. And Deb, thank you so much. So you can have the microphone back.
All right. Well, thank you. I love this process. I loved it when it began. We sat with families and said, how are schools doing? And we sat with schools and said, how's this working? And so just to see it all in process and know that we're reaching kids that need help, that, to me, that's everything. So, all right. I do need to say a thank you to Nathan and Casey and Catherine. You guys just continually support what we do, and Nathan, you put in the miles that I put in and do a full-time job. So thank you for being there. It is overwhelming. And Casey, you put up with me while I had COVID last year and the whole flag banner thing. So all of you, thank you for all of your help. And Deanna, thank you for taking me on as, your evil twin sister. So thank you. But other than that, I am going to leave. I'm not leaving the meeting, but I have an email that has to go out. So I'm going to say goodbye, and I'm going to put some point of contact people out of their misery. So thank you, guys.
Deb, you have one more.
Oh, do I have one more? Yes. Oh, yes, I totally forgot. This was a new slide. Sorry, guys. I've talked to Deanna about this last year. And then this year it came up again. So I felt like this is a time to add more support to some of our Purple Star schools, and in particular, the point of contacts. I had a request last year, and then I had another one this year at a different meeting I was at on the MIC3, Tennessee MIC3, that they could display for families coming in. And so I have put one together, and it really is about the Tennessee MIC3, but I've left room on there where they could add pieces or add pictures, really make it their own if they wanted to. So that is one thing that I really want to get out to the schools. And for those superintendents that are on, and I will make this suggestion to the point of contact, there was one of the schools that I worked with several years ago, and they decided they had family members. Let me back that up. They had military family members that did not report being military families because they had gotten in some negativity in other states and had just quit that routine of marking that they were a military family. So what the school wanted to do was, instead of like setting it out, so when a family came in to pick up like an application, this was laying beside it, but they noticed they really didn't pick them up. So they started putting them in with packets so that military families could do this and not really have to come forward about it. So that is one thing that I really want to get out to the schools, and I'm hoping to get it out this spring yet. I just feel like when I get a request 2 times from 2 very different type schools, it's time to provide that support. The other one last year and again this year was the point of contacts were like, we would like to know what is new, what are best practices, what other things can we do? So I have started a newsletter, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to discuss or place in there some items that I've noticed around Tennessee that may be unique, but have been very helpful within Tennessee schools. The other piece is the person that Deanna talked about me coming to Tennessee. She got a call from the commissioner in Ohio. He has his ear to the ground about Purple Star schools. He has a great passion for that. And now I think we have 44 states that now have Purple Star schools. So he hears a lot about what they're doing. So I want to share some of that information as well, and also provide some resources. So with the people on this phone call, please feel free, if you have a resource or you are a resource and you would like to put something or be mentioned in this newsletter, please send me an email because I would be happy to put that on there. I'm really just trying to kind of filter out and in some of those great practices. So those two things are top on my list. I've also been participating with some schools on the idea of serving military-related learners, celebrations for military families. I've been out to visit a couple, not directly for Purple Star, but to kind of share some information. And I guess the next two questions are, we have this many school systems in Tennessee. How do we reach? How do we get the word out there? Because I know you guys have done great. And I know in particular, there's a couple of you that I will restrain myself from hugging you, but it could happen. The other one is, what about our military recruiters? And because they are scattered about. And this actually came up last year when I met with Red Cross, and they wanted to know more about Purple Star and MIC3. And so they were actually talking about military recruiters. So any ideas, any thoughts you have, anything that you would like for me to push in when I send out this newsletter? I'm going to try to do it 3 times a year. I'm going to try to put out one right after school starts, one about the Christmas holiday, and then like this year, one later in the spring. I just feel like even if they don't read them, at least the information's there. So.
Hey, Deb?
Yeah.
Could I interject? I just, I'm listening to your report, and I'm thinking, we've got a couple of really excellent directors of schools that are on and involved in MIC3 now. One of the best ways to get information out is through the Tennessee Organization of School Superintendents. But it's not an entity that they generally, that they won't necessarily shoot something out for everybody, because they recognize that these directors of schools are extremely busy folks. But for the directors that are on, let me ask you this: if there was a one pager or a brochure or a letter, maybe something that laid out the time frame for what the Purple Star Award is and how Tennessee schools could get involved, what do you think as directors is the likelihood that if it came from one of you sitting on this council to toss with a request to send to your fellow directors around the state, how likely do you think that toss would be to send that out to your colleagues?
Well, I'm thinking, and this is Katrine, a better way potentially is for us to share in our unique study councils where we have, I have 16 that I meet with every week in South Central, and maybe having those personalized conversations. Others may feel differently, but I think there's power in the face-to-face conversation and sharing that one pager.
I would actually agree with that. That was just where I came from, actually, was in Williamson County, meeting with the Mid-Cumberland group. And I was thinking the same thing, Katrine, that I think all of us on this call probably host that group at some point throughout the year. And so even when we're the hosts, that we really sit down and talk to them about it and get in front of the application process and, that timeline, and just kind of really outline what it entails and what it means to military families. So if I'm reading it properly, we have 3 of those superintendent study councils represented here. We've got one in West Tennessee. Have I blinked out? Let me see. We've got one in West Tennessee. We've got Mid-Cumberland, I think, and then we've also got
South Central. What would you recommend in terms of getting to the districts beyond those 3 core regions?
So Nathan, I actually have a contact at TOS that does forward on my prior school year letter out.
Okay.
And then next week, I have the emails staged to go out for Month of the Military Child. And when you all validated that I was legit last year, so they actually will work with me, that I'm not just some random person, that I'm tied under State Board of Ed. So they used to provide us with the list that Casey requests, but they prefer to send it out themselves, and they have been very responsive to doing that. But in addition to our educators that are part of this council, there are other organizations that can share information through their channels, like AUSA, Purple Star Families, the State Board, the State PTA, you know, the Secondary Athletic Association, our military members that are on here. So when Deb and I send information out to this group, we hope that you are passing information on, not only to your schools or your colleagues, but as far as you can go with things. And I know that sometimes everybody gets a lot of emails, but hopefully if somebody is getting an email about military children, they'll at least glance at it. So we just ask, as part of being part of our council and also stakeholders, that you do pass information along. We try really hard not to burden you with ridiculous non-urgent things, but beginning of the school year, prior to school enrollment, we try to send information out, Month of the Military Child and then Purple Star Schools. Those are the 3 big times that we do push emails out. And then I do provide you with my report I have to provide to the governor and to the national organization. Those are really the 4 emails that we send out a year. And, you know, your help is greatly appreciated to advocate for what we're trying to do and spread the word as far as that goes. So sorry, Nathan, I didn't tell you about
that's great. I wanted to make sure that we were kind of marshaling the forces available to us. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's great that we actually have members of our council that are our group leaders that will definitely help us advocate.
Deanna, this is Elaine. May I share a best practice that we've done here in my 5 districts?
Sure.
Congratulations, Deb and your team, for the huge success on those many schools that have already received the Purple Star School of Distinction. What we did prior to our governor signing it into law, I was a part of the Tri-County partnership, and we literally came together and created a postcard. The postcard was a way to spark every district, every principal and school staff within the schools. It basically said the application process is going to be on its way. These are the 8 pillars. And literally just within my district that I'm embedded with, which is 55 schools, they applied and I want to say 85% of them received the distinction. The next year, all the schools within the district received the distinction. So I just know that could definitely answer your question on how to reach all the schools, but the face-to-face is key. And I know it is very difficult and it is a lot of work, but they're more than likely to remember it because we get so many emails, so much information inundated. And I know that our districts are very, very busy, but that is a really, was a successful way to prepare them prior to the launch of the application. The other thing that I did was I created an article on the military, a 1-page article on the Military Interstate Compact highlighting the 4 pillars. And then on the right side, I had a transition checklist. All of my schools that I service within the districts have that, and then they have an award, and then they put this marketing flyer with the MIC3 and the transition checklist in the entrance of every one of their schools.
Elaine, would you mind emailing those to us so Deb and I can look those over and steal from you?
Absolutely.
I will send you a package so that you can see the hard copy, and you can tailor it to whatever you would like it to look like. But I think the more simplistic it is, they're more than likely to be sparked and say, okay, we really want this for our school.
Okay, thank you so much, Elaine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, one of the issues that was a hot issue for us as far as cases go in this last 12 months was the people on recruiters duty that end up with their child being the only child in a whole school district that's a military child, and the school system not being aware of the compact. And thank goodness the parents are aware. But one thing that we have as one of our personal goals this year is to how do we try to contact and make relationships with those school systems. I went ahead and did a quick Google search of locations across the state of Tennessee that have recruiter stations in them. And the ones highlighted in purple are already part of the Purple Star School program. But we do have several that we could focus on. I will include this information, and if you all have any resources or contacts, colleagues in these areas, we will need your help to try to definitely reach them. And for the military service members and veterans that are part of this, if you know anybody that is personally that is part of Recruit Command for any of the branches of services, that would be helpful, because oftentimes when I contact somebody on the military side and they don't know who the heck I am and what a military interstate children's compact is, they're less likely to respond. But this is one of my personal goals this year, is to try to make contact with the school systems that house military recruiting stations right in their communities. Does anybody have any feedback or comments on that?
Hey, Diaz, Captain Mike Mossberger.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Tommy.
Hey, I was just going to say, with the reserve and guard throughout the state, and as plentiful as they are, I think there's probably some connections that could be made there to where if you're in a remote recruiting station or something that I don't, unless you're just looking at the active duty side, there's a lot of kids in school systems out there, I think, that could find those relationships and those folks that have like scenarios going on at home.
Thank you, sir. Captain Mossberger?
I was going to add, Davies Recruiting Headquarters is here in Millington on my base. I served a tour there.
Oh.
You need any help there, let me know and I will connect you to the right people. Over.
Okay, thank you. I will get with you before you PCS.
This is Jennifer Allen.
Yes.
I would like to throw out there, I have a team of 13 all across the state. They each have a region of counties that they're over. And then I'm over all 95 counties plus my team of 13. And if anybody needs us to do anything like getting into the school system or whatever to meet with them, we go out. That part of our job is going out and building those community partnerships. So I would be happy to assist in that area with my team across the state.
Thank you, Jennifer.
You're welcome.
Okay, and Jennifer Lundy and I have talked about this before. Where Millington is, they're surrounded by several small school districts that may contain a couple elementaries, a middle, and a high school. And what I've noticed over the last couple of years is that the Navy families that are becoming stationed in that area are living farther out from the naval area than before. Case in point, just this week, Jennifer and I had a case of a family who has children in the Germantown school system. I've never had a case or heard from anybody in Germantown, Tennessee before, but it was a situation where a 9th grader had received credit for Spanish 1 at their sending school in Florida. It was on his transcript, and the school did not know about the compact and said, well, I'm sorry, he's going to have to repeat that class or test out. Well, the family fortunately knew about the compact and contacted me, and I knew it was a case where they didn't know about the compact. It's been resolved. I contacted the school system on Wednesday. As of today, I received confirmation that it's resolved. It's clear now that they understand that you cannot change a child's transcript. What they took at their sending school is what they took at their sending school. It's not their fault that they weren't in the state of Tennessee to meet the Tennessee requirements when they were in their previous grades. So I'm going to try to make a map of the other school systems. Fortunately, we have 3 school systems in that area that are part of our state council, which is a huge benefit to us. They're active. Their schools are going through the Purple Star School process if they are already Purple Star schools. And we need to just cast our net a little wider so that we can try to make sure that everybody in Shelby County is aware. 6 cases in the last year were specific to Memphis metro schools. And parents in these cases had picked the schools based on their special education services for their children that had IEPs or special needs. And again, the schools had no idea what the compact was. Same school on a couple of cases. I think we're good now, but we need to, I think we just definitely need to make it a personal goal, for me at least, and hopefully with Jennifer, since she's such an advocate in that area of the state, to reach out and try to bring these school systems on board. It'll make things so much easier for our families and so much easier for the school liaison officers and the command at these installations. It's unfortunate that we have no data on the military families that slip through the cracks because they don't know about the compact and they end up in a school system that doesn't know about the compact. And I have had conversations with staff, with our Tennessee senators and my congressman about possibly what can we do on the military service member side, even if it's just a brochure or something that is included in their PCS or ETS orders so that they have it. And then, of course, a big dream idea I had that may never happen is, you know, ideally, each time a military service member goes to a school that they have to go to for a promotion, even if there's just a 10-minute talk about the compact, because that's how the military is growing their leaders and training their leaders. They may not need to know about the compact when they're going through ALDC, but they may end up with a soldier that reports to them later down the road that has a military child. Oh, by the way, there is this law in all 50 states and Washington, D.C. that protects the educational purposes of your child. There are special rules just for your child. So that's a long-term goal. Hopefully the squeaky wheel will finally get the oil. I don't know what other solution there is, because I do worry about the children whose families don't know to advocate about the compact. We don't hear about those cases. So I'm throwing that out there just for thought. And if you all have any suggestions, please feel free to pop me an email. Does anybody have any cases that they have dealt with that are on a different topic of what I mentioned? I feel like our cases are getting less complicated than they have been in the past, at least in Tennessee. The ones that we're aware of, we're getting them resolved a lot faster than we used to. And the school liaison officers that cover Tennessee do such a great job. There are things that get resolved before I even hear about them. And thank God you're there in those roles. Kim, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Hi, thank you. That's exactly what I want to talk about with AUSA. I'm here. I want to push it through. We have obviously the Association of the United States Army. We have our national organization. I want to start pushing this. I'm trying to get a big push to be supporting our active duty families. I feel like a lot of our support over the years has started to go towards veterans and our active duty families, and our children need the support the most. So right now, I've got children that just walked in the door, but that is my purpose right now, that I'm trying to work with and to get that information out to as many people as I possibly can. And also to talk about, in our local area, one of the biggest issues that we're having is EFMP children. Fort Campbell is an EFMP hub, so we have a lot of children with a lot of different needs, and making sure that they're always being met. And then those children move on to different locations, and then having their IEPs switching back and forth. We know the compact does a fantastic job of, sort of supporting that as they move along, but we also realize the more they move, the more difficult it makes it, if that makes sense. And we've had those issues over the years where one state is really great, the other state is not so great. So sorry, the children are all coming in the door at the same time from school. But I appreciate all of the things that all of you are doing, but I would definitely, if you need me to reach out, we also have the civilian aides to the Secretary of the Army that are part of our discussion, and a lot of them can help as well. I want to bring that up. They're going to have a meeting here at Fort Campbell in their area in April, and I want to bring that up and have them start talking about that and making sure that all of the schools, and this is going to be countrywide, all the CASs all over, that I want them to start talking about the MIC3 and making sure that they're supporting all of our military children, because that goes directly to recruiting and retention. If the kids aren't being taken care of, the families don't want to stay. And I think that's one of the biggest issues that we're seeing right now with our military families, especially our EFMP families that are struggling. If they're not getting, their children aren't getting the support, they don't want to stay because it's just too difficult. And we're seeing a lot more of that. So I'm here to help. And I just love everything that you guys are doing. So I appreciate it.
Thank you, Kim. You just gave me an idea. Maybe one of the Harpels would join our state council. I'll ask. They're both.
Yeah, I think it would be absolutely fantastic. And I would also say too, we also have military affairs committees that are in certain areas. I know we have one here at, in Clarksville on Fort Campbell side. We have one on the Tennessee side, or in the Kentucky side. I believe they have ones in different locations, and I'm not sure what the Navy side is, but bringing those in, I think expanding our network. And I'm one of those people, I love to connect the dots, connecting all the people together, making sure we're all having these conversations together. And I would also love to see this talked about at the pre-command course for commanders. I would love to see it at the Sergeant Major Academy. These are things that need to be pushed out there to say, hey, you're a leader. You need to make sure you can help your people as they're coming in. We send out packets to our families as they're in processing into the Combat Aviation Brigade and say, hey, these, because you can live on the Tennessee side, you can live on the Kentucky side, you can live on Fort Campbell, which is a DoD school, so that makes it even more complicated. But we want people to have the most amount of information possible to make the best decision for their family. And if they feel like they have options and they know what's going on, they feel informed and they feel empowered, and that they can take care of their kids' education. And the more information we can get out about that, the better.
Thank you. Captain Washburger, does your community have a military affairs committee through the Chamber of Commerce?
If we do, I'm not tracking it.
Okay, I'll do some research.
You mean local to Millington, the city of Millington?
Yes, sir. Or any of the Lakeland or any of the other areas. Ours is through the Chamber of Commerce, but there may be another organization that has a military affairs committee. That they would probably be a huge help to help us spread the news across the western part of the state. I'll work on that.
And explicitly that I'm aware of. From the Millington side, the entire chamber is military friendly. There's no concerns with Millington proper, but I'm listening and I'm taking notes, and Jen Lundy and I will go to Collierville and Germantown, and we'll keep working on Bartlett.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, yes.
Deanna, I have a little bit of input on inbound members. So I know that the school liaison program managers in Tennessee are doing a fabulous job. I know for me, I'm always working on, right now I've got high PCS season. I've got all my commanders and leaders leaving, and I've got new members coming in from all over the world. And what I do is we will send an inbound email with the Military Interstate Compact Educator's Guide and detailed information about the MIC3 so that they're informed prior to arrival. I know it might be very difficult with other branches of service getting access to an inbound roster, but I know that really, really helps. And then with any senior leader, I do a one-on-one consultation with them, and I go over the Military Interstate Compact. The other thing is I wanted to let you know about, I've worked 3 transition cases that are going into Tennessee. My last one was just this week. So we had a family that's coming in from, I believe, California, moving to Tennessee, and they are retiring. So I was able to help the family get connected to their middle school and talk to one of the doctors at the district and shared with her about the Military Interstate Compact and was able to streamline that process and also help educate her that a retiree on the day of retirement receives 1 year of services through the Military Interstate Compact. Back over to you.
All right, thank you, Lane. All right, this is when I go through the stats from the year. These are in the slide deck. After this meeting, I will fix the typo I saw earlier in the slide deck that I made and ask Catherine Ann to publish this to our website as a resource. So this is a breakout by school system of the military children in the state of Tennessee. As reported, it was mentioned before, not everybody will report if they're military family or not. Our numbers have gone down since last year, and that has been the trend over the last couple of years. Although Fort Campbell's numbers go up, the others have gone down across the state. This is the federal impact aid payout, by school system. Congratulations, Dr. Luna Vetter. Probably not enough, but when you have to build new schools every year. This is, so under our statute, the state law, each member state is required to pay dues to the national organization. And the formula is based on where the military child resides. And we pay dues based on the number of military children that reside in Tennessee, grades K through 12. And the military service families that live on the Kentucky side, they're handled by Kentucky. We're the Tennessee side. So right now, the formula is $1.15 per military child that we pay to the national organization. We operate without a budget in the state of Tennessee. Deb and I are volunteers, and State Board of Education supports us on the admin side. And the huge thing that they do for us is pay for the banners that we present to the schools for Purple Star schools, which I think out of all of the ones that I've seen from the other states that have Purple Star, I think ours are the best. And that's because of Casey. He really advocated to get a great design. And I feel like the schools are proud to display the fancy satin banners with the fringe on the bottom. So these are the stats by branch. And you can see that our active duty children fell by 554 and our Guard and Reserve by 110. And I get this data from DOD. I have a good contact up there every year. I'm like, okay, it's time for me to get my stats together so that I'm not Googling something and getting old data. And then these are our stats by age in Tennessee of Guard and Reserve children. And why that is important to share, not only because we have representation on our state council for the Guard and Reserve side, but we did work, Nathan and I worked with Senator Bill Powers last year to have a supplemental law outside of our compact, but related to the compact state law that recognizes the services for Guard and Reserve children, regardless if their parents are on active duty status or not. Speaking of which, so it did pass last year, was signed by the governor on April 28th. And We're treating all military children as if they were active duty. They get the same benefits and rules under our compact language. Nathan, is there anything on the education side that you're tracking for this year that would benefit military children?
Well, specifically about the military compact, you know, and those, I mean, there was a bill which isn't going to be moving, and I think that one's going to be withdrawn. But the everything in education world, as far as the legislature goes at the moment, there's so much is being discussed in terms of vouchers, honestly, and you know that would affect all of Tennessee's kids, whether military or not. And to be fair, at the moment there are several competing amendments. There's the House is slated to release language this next week on a version that they're happy with. The Senate Education Chairman has put out some language on an amendment that I think would be the only one that would pass in that chamber. And then the governor's language is not out and circulated as much as, you know, some people might believe as well. So there's a ton going on in education, but relevant specifically to the compact or specific to military children, not like last year. I think our push last year and the breakthrough with the National Guard language was a big step in the right direction there.
Thank you. One law that was not at least anything that we initiated as a compact, but there is a law in the books that allows military families to reach out and enroll in a school system before they're actually in Tennessee, as long as they have orders. And that is great for families to kind of get a head start on placement of their child before they even move to Tennessee. And that state law is TCA 49-63101. And back in the olden days when we were active duty military family, we could get orders within 30 days of my husband having to report somewhere. So I do appreciate, at least on the Army side, that orders are coming out closer to this time of year in some cases. Well, not if your husband gets promoted every 2 years, Kim. My husband didn't. We were at Fort Campbell for 17 years. So, but it's a lot better than it used to be. People, unless they are upward and climbing and changing jobs and PCSing to different schools and whatnot, it's a little more consistent for, at least on the enlisted side, a family staying put a little longer and orders coming out a little sooner. Kim, you had your hand raised.
Sorry, just real quick. I just wanted to mention with the voucher system, I think that's something that this board would definitely need to track, because I think for all of us that realize what you're talking about with military children moving a ton and not getting orders, ever since COVID, orders have been a lot slower than they were before. A lot of people don't get them till about 30 days out again. It's gotten pretty bad. And the moving system is changing this year for active duty military families everywhere. So things are going to be, the entire system has been completely changed. So there could be some different shifting going on. But we're concerned, and a lot of families are concerned, that a lot of military families miss timelines for moving into states, for applying to schools and things like that. And I think we've talked to, we came from Virginia. You have to, if you want to do a certain program, all of that stuff happens in February. Most families don't know where they're going to live in February until, obviously until they're there. So that would be something that would have to be worked through for military families for sure. I know the compact helps with some stuff, but that's one of those things that we would definitely be concerned about. But we do appreciate being able to register for school early, because that helps with all the things. So
thank you. Can you all see the website? I'm sharing, but I don't know if you can see are you still seeing the slide deck? Okay, yes. Well, okay, we'll go back to that then. Okay, I was trying to show you a live version of our website. So we're housed under the State Board of Education website. And this is very blurry because clearly my Snagit didn't want to work. But we have a resources link that can be used for military service members, families, school systems and whatnot. Every meeting we've ever held as a state council is on there, what was discussed, the slide deck, the agendas since our inception in 2012, I think was our first meeting. And also the state law, which is important when I'm communicating with schools that aren't aware that it's a state law. They want to see it in writing. They want to see the TCA code and also the rules book. So that's a great resource to use. I think I mentioned earlier, I have emails staged to go out Monday to get people geared up for Month of the Military Child. Last year, people got really creative. My senator, Bill Powers, he got members of the Senate to dress up in purple, and they took a group picture, and he was so happy to send it. He also read into the minutes on the Senate floor about the impact that our community and our military children have in the state of Tennessee. The Customs House Museum partnered with the USO on Fort Campbell and did an art show where they featured artwork made by military children. I was able to go to that, and the place was packed. There were probably 150 pieces of art, and just watching kids trying to drag their parents around to find their art. It was so fun. And the museum here in Clarksville is going to do that again this year. I contacted the major sports teams in Tennessee to see if they would do special recognitions for a Month of the Military Child. Fingers crossed that they do something on their social media, their websites. The last few years, Bridgestone Arena has lit up in purple for us on Purple Up Day, which this year will be the 17th of April. And then here are just some ideas to pass along. I'm sending the email information about Month of the Military Child to TOS so that the directors of schools get it. I'm sending it to this group and then also to elected officials across the state of Tennessee. The more people that speak about challenges of military children and the compact and Purple Star schools, the better. And it's an election year for some people, so that's a benefit. Okay, is there anything else anyone would like to bring up? Okay. Well, I really appreciate your all's time. Any questions before we adjourn? All right, thank you all so much. Check your email on Monday. If you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me. Thank you, Catherine Ann and Casey and Nathan, for your support of our mission here. And everybody have a great weekend, and thanks for what you do. Appreciate your time. We're adjourning at 4:17 p.m. Central Time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Okay.